Okay, I'm on to a 3-day job, and the first thing I wanted to point out was this large, extra large deodar cedar. Sadly, it's dying of a trunk canker disease. That's probably the best looking foliage on the whole tree. And you can see when you look up top, you should not be able to see sky through this tree. And if you look at the roof, it's covered with needles. The bark is oozing with pitch. But let's get on to the job that I've got at hand. I've got 3 large camphor trees in the front yard that are full of deadwood. Camphor trees are susceptible to verticillium wilt, and quite often you get a lot of big dead tips. Now, this is a tool that is a game changer to me. I've got the gasoline version, but this battery-operated Milwaukee, I can't say enough good things about it. Love it. A lot to break. Jorge came up with this interesting idea here to protect the mailbox. Give him 2 points for that one. But you can see everywhere you look, there's stuff that can get broken, including this Japanese maple on the neighbor's side. Got a lot of plants, got a fence, got a little tree, nice landscape, gate. Had to be careful. And as you can see, this stuff is a bear to chip. Now, the guy's got a brand new sod lawn. It's only 5 weeks old. And what I want to do is I want to back my bucket truck, up over the lawn to reach some of this stuff. So what I didn't show in this video is I went out and bought 3 sheets of 3/4-inch plywood and laid it down so that I could back at least 2 of the rear tires, the dualies, up over the lawn. And it helped. It made a huge, huge difference. Now, the problem with this camphor is a lot of these dead pieces are 60 to 70 feet high, and there's wires everywhere. So a larger bucket would have a hard time. The smaller bucket worked out good because I could kind of tuck it in there and work up through the middle. Sometimes smaller is better. Sometimes bigger is the way to go, but I'm working with what I've got. So here I am up in the bucket, giving you kind of a bird's eye view of what I'm into here. I'm probably 35, 40 feet off the ground right now. And a lot of the work that I was doing, I took the chainsaw up there with me and took out all the biggest pieces, but I had to section it down. So I had to do some roping, and some of it I was carefully holding on to and throwing it down. We worked together quite well. You know, Jorge and I are a pretty good team. And I worked, probably the first 4 or 5 hours on it. Then he took over. Now, that's a tough one. That is about a 8-inch diameter piece of wood that we've got to get down. So this is just a shot of some of the stuff that we've gotten out of this tree. This stuff kind of explodes. The smaller dead wood, you can pop it off with a pole saw. It just breaks off. That one would not break off, so you have to cut it with the pole saw. And look at the kind of stuff I'm finding up here. That was an important branch, but it's a really brittle branch, and it's got a defect, so I had to get a lot of weight off of it. And everywhere you look. So after lunch, Jorge went up there for a while. My arm was pretty sore from using the pole saw, and we had this great big one. And what I want you to watch here is how Jorge utilizes the pole saw to get the rope up there and tie it off. So I was managing the rope from the ground, and he was setting it all up. And then he spent quite a bit of time with the pole saw trying to work this one branch down. It was a bear. I mean, he was sawing on this piece of wood for, I don't know, about 20 minutes before he got it to come down. And part of it was the angle of the branch. He wasn't cutting straight cross grain. He was cutting at a kind of a diagonal on this limb because that's all he could reach. And there's the cut that he had to make. Imagine cutting that with a handsaw. That was not fun. And he broke the pole saw. It hooked it. He was trying to manage it coming down, and it kind of took a funny spin, and this thing came flying out of the sky. So sometimes the shrapnel from our work can be just as hazardous as the limbs falling down. And this is what it looks like all done. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you guys. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, why did it take you 2 days to do that whole job? Well, what I didn't talk about in the video was the location. I had so many pedestrians walking underneath me. I had dog walkers. I had kids on electric bicycles flying through. I had cars. I had so much I had to watch out for that I spent most of my time looking back and forth and looking to see if I could make a cut. Jorge was on the ground giving me the thumbs up. I'd make a cut and somebody'd come through. And we also had to rake stuff out of the way to keep people from slipping on it. So there's a whole lot more to a job like this in a tight, pedestrian, infiltrated area. Plus, these limbs were way, way up high. They were beyond the point where you could climb safely. And there were so many defects in the tree, so many bad spots, that I wasn't about to clip into that tree. So we did what we could with my bucket. A bigger bucket might have helped. I thought about that, but you know, all those wires and all the complicated spots, plus the tightness of the location, I think the small bucket was a better choice. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all you guys. Hang in there and be safe. And subscribe to my channel, would you?